And I was doing all that talking and didn't even realize I wasn't broadcasting. I was doing all of that talking. I was doing all of that talking and I wasn't even broadcasting. How do you like that? That's alright. Still, today is a good day. All that talking and I wasn't even broadcasting. I love it when I mess up and forget like that. I know that was probably my brother sending me a message saying, "Hey, bro, you forgot to go live. Is there a video?" Let me check my phone and see if that's him. Let me see. Okay. Alright. I thought somebody was messaging me saying, "Hey, Yaquab, how come you're not live?" Because I forgot to hit the button. I forgot to hit the button, doing all that talking. Yeah, bro, I'm late. Well, I was here, but I didn't press the button to go live. Or maybe I did, but I don't know, some problem or something. Man, I'm telling you. I'm warning anybody, if you're listening, man, don't get older. You kind of tend to forget things. Things kind of slip, man, Oh, wow. Maybe drinking this tea. Maybe it'll help me. Anyway, I got a good video today. I read something, man, it blessed my soul. How do you like that? I need some paper towels. Hold on 1 second. Be right back. Hey, Dave. Okay, so still, even though I forgot to hit the go live button, or maybe I was live and I was doing all that talking, and the computer said, "You're not live yet. You got to hit the live button." That's alright. It still was a good day today. It was a good day today. I decided to go for a little ride. Ended up meeting this really beautiful white girl. Hey, Danny, I hope you're listening. We on the same vibe, Chuck. We in the same vibration. You having tea, me having tea. Good day. I met a new friend, Danny, some white girl. Got to talking to her. I would have flirted with her if I'd have had teeth. I hope you're listening, Danny. Hey, Yafa. Good to see you. Peace, love, light, and balance. So it was good meeting you today, Danny. I hope you're listening. I hope I say something that Elijah, how you doing, brother? All right, they got a full house here tonight. So I met somebody, some white girl, very beautiful young girl. Started talking to her and got a chance to tell her about the OAHSPE. I asked her if she was spiritual. She said she was, and we got to talking. She seemed to like the things I was telling her. Told her to listen in, and if she liked me, then I hope she would continue to learn about spiritual things. And I told her that I would try to minister to her if she checked in, whether she checked in or not, actually, to tell her what it's all about, because I was trying to tell her that the big deal with the OAHSPE is that the Creator, He now telling us things that we didn't know before. I mean, He's now waking us up. We've been asleep for a long time. We've been deceived. And the main thing I told her was, make sure whatever you do, above all things, do not get into idolatry. Do not get the false gods have laid a trap for us. It's worked marvelously. We got subjected to normalcy bias. We're used to everything just kind of being the same as it always was, and this is the way the old folks did it. This is what they believed in. We didn't know we fell into a trap. Actually, it wasn't a trap because the Creator, he said he allowed deity idolatry for a long time so that men would begin to learn about spiritual things, things other than what you can see on the earth, things other than what your senses can perceive, to set men up for greater revelation as time went on. And so we're in a situation where the world, we've been duped. Well, I shouldn't say duped, but we've been indoctrinated into the Bible. There was nothing else. And the Creator finally said the time is ripe to give them the new revelation, to tell them about things that they have never heard before. And He's doing it, telling us about the creation, telling us about the spirit of man in greater detail like we ain't never heard before. Telling us things that scientifical things, nature things, atmosphere type of things. And I mean, just to confirm that, yeah, this is me talking to you. It's like He's saying, look, nobody knows what I know. The thing that works for me is He tells me about the inside of myself, things which nobody, I'll give you a little example how it's gotten with me. I was reading the other day and I read something, and this really happened. This is why, like, reading the OAHSPE and other things, it's like I've never read anything where I was ministered to so directly as the OAHSPE does for me, and I know there's more to come. And matter of fact, what I should do is I should scroll the Essene Gospel of Peace, the Communion Angels, while I'm doing the monologue. So let me scroll in case there are brethren. I used to do it every day, and then I don't do videos anymore on the weekends, so I decided to go ahead and just scroll so that you can, whatever day you keep Sabbath on, because what I read from says on the first day or second day or third day after Sabbath, and I don't know which one it is for you, but you can go ahead and pick the one what day you think it is, first, second, third, or fourth day, and that's the angel for you. But it really don't matter because it's just trying to teach you to be thankful. Be thankful for the fact that you are able to breathe today, the water, the air, your knowledge, your wisdom, the creative work that you are, the joy, the peace, the power that the Creator that He gives to us. All these things are angels. And so we not really a country that appreciates things. It's like, even like saying thank you, something you were given. That's not really in the spirit of at least this nation that I can see. People are entitled. They feel anytime you give them something, or it's like you don't get the response you would expect. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, let me see something about my mic. It's got a couple of buttons on here. I'm going to turn them and see if anybody, let me know if my audio it messes up or something. I can't see the screen, so let me stop this right here. Let me make sure I can look at the screen. I got some buttons here. I really don't know how it sounds when I mess with them. So let me turn it all the way one way. So if the audio is okay, if the audio is okay, type of 1. I don't know how this thing sounds. I hope it's making a difference. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe not. Anyway, at least I can see the screen now. So, all right. So I was reading something in the OAHSPE, and then okay, thanks, Dave. Sounding good. All right, great, good. I was reading something. This is how it's gotten. This is how, things like this help tell me, you know what, there's a Creator. There really is one. There really is a Creator because of things like this that happen for me in my reality. It's gotten to the point with me where I believed for a long time. Don't know why. It's a big mystery to me why. I just do. Whether I'm right or wrong, whether I'm deceived or not, I believe that there's a right way to be in this reality. There's a wrong way. I believe somebody's going to tell me. Somebody's going to tell me what I'm here for, what He wants me to do. I believe somebody has that power. That's the Creator. Otherwise, I feel I'm just wasting time. I don't think that you just born to hang out, do nothing. So anyway, one of the things that happened to me the other day, I was reading in the OAHSPE and I came to something and I was like, you know what? Now I have no clue what the Creator means right here. But I bet you the very next verse that I read, He's going to tell me the answer. Never fails. I say sometimes, you know, Jovi, I don't know what you mean. What is, you know, I get upset when I read things and I don't get the understanding. I don't know what it's saying. It's hard for me. And I get upset and I start demanding answers. Yeah, to Jehovah. I start demanding answers. And so this was one of those times I read something. Now I can't remember. Let me see if I can try to remember. It had something to do with if you were from above or if you were from below. And then he listed some things. He said like, what did he say? He said something like, if you, it was something like, what did he say? If you do this, then you're from above. If you do this, then you're from below. But it was more, what's a good word for harder to understand? It was harder to, you know, understand it than the way it was written. And it was something, I mean, it could apply to anybody. Anybody could be evil or anybody could be righteous is what I remember saying. How do I know how to enforce, how to implement this verse right here? How do I receive that? And matter of fact, I think I put it in the chat in my room. Matter of fact, I know I did. And basically, the very next verse, man, the Creator answered it. And I knew He was going to do it. Even before I read it, He answered it. He basically said, examine yourself. He said, and it says this in a verse. The prior verse said, okay, if you're righteous, do these things, that thing. You know, I said, anybody could do that. How am I any different? And then the next verse, He answered it. And I knew He was going to do it. I knew He was going to do it even before I read it. I knew He was going to do it. And the next verse, He said, examine yourself. What do you think about in your mind most of the time during the day? That's how you can elevate yourself. That's how you can grade yourself. What do you think about during the day? Is it about me? Is it about my will? Is it about trying to see how you can serve others? If you do that 100% of the day, you're 100%. If you do it 90% of the day, you're 90%. And so on and so forth. And it blessed my soul. It made so much sense to me. I just could have flipped out, you know, because it may mean nothing to you, you know, and that's cool. But I'm telling you, that type of stuff resonate with me, and I just don't get why everyone isn't like that. Atheists are like that. I'm telling you, they might not mean much to themselves. You may not think much of yourself, you know. So what? I believe in God. So what? I like to read His Word. What's the big deal? I'm here to tell you what the big deal is, because it's a big... Am I? You know what? Wow, now this is my microphone. I had the microphone turned off. See? Does this sound any different? I had the microphone turned off. I just turned it on. Does this make a difference in the audio? Man, I had it turned off. I just turned it. Now I just turned it on. It probably don't even make a difference. But anyway, to me, anybody who can subscribe to this type of life, talk about these type of things, believe in the type of stuff that we be talking about, may not mean much to you, but to me, I think they're just a miracle. What do you mean? No, Dave? No difference? Yeah. I had the mic turned off. I believe I had it turned off. This is the microphone now. That's all right. It makes me feel like I'm supposed to talk, so it's cool. But okay, probably no. Not. I can probably just turn this thing back in then. Let me see. Turn these buttons up. Oh well, as long as I can be heard, that's cool. So anyway, to me, I think that faith is brethren who can hear His word. I think that they, you know what? I think they a pretty big miracle to me because, it's a pretty big world, people all over the place, and the OAHSPE would be talking about a few and the chosen and my people, and it seems like we're at the beginning of a new era where it's going to be up to you, brethren, to go out and to spread the light, and we might not see the full manifestation of it when things really catch on fire, but we know that there's an incredible inheritance that we see in our mind's eye. We just believe it, and that's the thing that kept us going. So I was talking with the lady that I met. I was going to the store, and I actually, I passed her up, and then we both stopped at a stoplight. I kicked up a conversation. I loved it. Made my whole day. I hope you listen, Danny. I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope that I say something on this video that it grabs your attention, that it encourages you to look to use the reality that you have to find out who the Creator is, and try to hear out the things that He wants to tell us, because we're here on the earth, we're here for a while, we have our life, and we're really setting up for our eternity. The things that you do now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, brethren. I'm going to show you, brethren, something that I found in the OAHSPE that, oh my goodness, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm going to let the screen scroll a little bit more, and I'm going to share it with you. And I hope you, brethren, can dig what I'm going to show you, man. I'm kind of teasing you for a little bit. I want you to see it together with everybody else. So anyway, I think the angels are finished with on the scrolling. This is the Essene Gospel of Peace, book 4. The tells you about the angels. It tells you about different things. And the Essene Gospel of Peace. The Essenes were a people. They were separate, and I think they were like modern day Faithists. The Essenes. We've always been here. It's just that we got this word now, kind of like to wake us up, because we were in such a period of, it seemed to me, I don't know, I was studying the AG and the Aegean and the nebulae, and it seems to me, in the OAHSPE, it seemed to me that that's atmosphere that comes on the earth, and it's like affects your vibration. It could bring darkness, like from what I understood, like degrees of darkness, degrees of vibration on our actions, on our mental overstanding. And it was I don't know, I could be wrong. That's how I understood it's called AJI and the JIYAN and the NEBULE, and the OAHSPE seems to describe it as periods of time when great darkness covers the earth. Anyway, I'm finished with the angel scrolling. Let's look at that verse that I was talking about. Man, you brethren, I hope that you like this. I hope that you really like. Don't tell me to share the screen, Dave. I'm ready to do it right now. So I'm just going to the room first. Okay, here's my room where I like to try to, back when I first got it started, man, I was using this ministry a lot. I mean, I was getting contacted a lot of times, years ago, and even had like, website, and people were giving thanks and testifying, and I loved it, man. Really wanted to glorify the Creator. And then now I started it up again, and it's real. I haven't even had to use it. So I hope brethren are taken care of. You know, I mean, it's good when you have a ministry and you want to help brethren who are in need. You don't get contacted, and at least, I mean, that's good news right there. But still, it's here. I try to target orphans, senior citizens, and the disabled. And here's the information. You can contact me. Dave, you say, oh, okay, those are 3 degrees. Are those like 3 degrees of like, you know, where there are times of darkness, great darkness, and greater darkness on man? I know that when the Creator, He brings, it seemed like from my reading, when He brings these things, He uses it to make men, kind of to make them begin to question things and how can we make it better. It seems like affliction produces fruit. Okay, that's what they are? Okay, thanks, brother. Because it seems like the Creator, in order to get man, you know, like in the Bible it says that when a tree bears fruit, the you know, God, He prunes it so that it'll bear more fruit. You know, like you clip its leaves and the branches, the dead branches, so that it'll produce more fruit. It seems like that's how He uses the AJI, the JG, the JAY, and the nebulae. He brings hard times on you, so to speak, so that you get tired of your situation. You begin like, man, how can I make it better? How come I keep going in reverse, man? How do I find the first gear, the second gear, the third gear in life? Okay, testing periods. Okay, we're both, yep, atmosphere too, heaven and earth, both men and angels. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, those are testing periods. And it seems like the Creator, He gave them to you to get you. It's like, if you know, I remember reading something, I think it's in the Bible, the regular King James Bible, where it said that, you know, the lap of luxury, it don't really produce spiritual fruit. Matter of fact, it seems to make men worse. You know, where they don't care about spiritual things. They don't care about who gave you these things, the ability to get rich, the ability to have an abundance. It seems like, if anything, we fall into an entitlement mentality. Like, we always supposed to have these things. These things, you know, I'm alive. I was created. You owe me. I didn't do it myself. You know, so gimme. But that ain't the way of the Creator. You know, He give you adversity so that you'll learn. I know in the OAHSPE you say that He gave hunger and weakness and order for men to strive to make His reality better. And so you look back in history, and that's the type of thing that you have seen. You've seen the Industrial Revolution. I'm not saying that all events of man's history where blood was shed was positive, but a lot of times it produced a fruit where people say, hey man, look here, we don't want no more of this, man. We got to do something. We got to get out of this situation we in. And so it seemed like the Creator is saying He used affliction to get you to make it better for yourself, man. Motivate you. So that AG and GA and 8 nebulae, I think that the Creator, you know, He, like right now, we got a war going on. Did you brethren hear the news? Did you hear it? Israel, they killed 274 Palestinians to free 4 of them that were held captive. They killed 274 people, you know, to release four captives. They got 4 captives. They killed 207. Happened just the other day. You know, how... Look, you know, we ain't even sensitive to that type of stuff anymore. We ain't even sensitive to it. And the OAHSPE is clear. You engage in war, either offensively, even defensively. He says that you're headed for affliction. He said, you know, let nobody be deceived, man. You know, I read something where Jehovah said he is justice. He said it. So here's the Wednesday Bible study. I'll scroll it. Got all the information there. If you ever think that you want to join it, just stop the screen, take the information. Now, I haven't forgotten about that verse that I want to share with you. Actually, this is going to be a great video. It's going to be great, man, because for you brethren who can't hang out, you're only just checking in. It's the story of Ahura. I'm sure you brethren already know it. Dave, I know you already know the story, but I'm going to put my own little twist on it, like try to contemporize it for our day. And it's one hell of a story, man, about Ahura, the false god Ahura. He repented, and they show him, they show in him repenting, Ahura was shown mysteries on how to win man and the plan of the Father for mankind. The plan of the Father for mankind. You brother are going to love it, man, I'm telling you. So here's the Bible study information real quick, and then I want to go show some things that I was sharing in the room. I know you're going to love it, man. That one verse, there's one verse where it talks about the fate of what the OAHSPE calls a pure brother, a motivated brother, and what happens to him after he crosses over. It's like 80% of the things of the OAHSPE is talking to you about atmospheria, talking to you about etheria, places that all of us, we're headed. We are all headed there, man, one way or another. So you might as well prepare now, So anyway, here's the Bible information. You can, stop the video, take the information down, and do a little something, man, and minister to your spiritual side. It's a really good Bible study. I love to, brethren are, I perceive that this type of thing is going to just grow and grow anyway. It's more people as the kingdom spreads. Now, here are the things, some of the things that I like to try to share in my room. Click on the link, copy and paste it. It'll bring you into the room, and try to really target brethren who are sincere, who really, you spiritual, you've been around the block, you've seen the earth, you've seen what's up, you're born, you you go to school, you marry, you retire and play golf, I guess, you know what I mean, retirement, and after that, you begin to turn and start thinking about the hereafter. And as you get older, some brethren do it when they're younger. Now here's something that I posted in my room. Now you look at this, man. You get a kick out. I'll just speak for myself. I get a real kick out of stuff like this that the OAHSPE talks about. Now check this out. It says paradars. An angel, a bird, a picture. It's like a reflection. All right. You ever hear brethren say that you have I know when I was reading what is that book called? The Keys of Knowledge. What is that book called? It's called the S. What is it? The Elijah, the Book of Knowledge. The Book of Knowledge. The Keys of Enoch. I remember reading in there one time where it talks about the overself body. Matter of fact, real quick, let's do this together. Let's see if we can learn something. Let's see if it's on the internet. Probably not, but let's check it out. What is the overself body? Yeah, there you go, Elijah. Keys of Enoch, Book of Knowledge. Okay. It says the body is an intrinsic part of our sense of self. And some say that any theoretical account of the self should include the body. For example, cognitive neuroscientists have studied the self for over the past 30 years by looking at autobiography Autobiographical memory. Other studies have examined body and illusions and differences. Okay, that ain't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the spiritual definition. Yeah, it's in that book right there. The Essene Gospel of Peace. It talks about the overself body. Basically, it's your spiritual self. Your other half. Let's see, is something wrong with my computer here? Okay. Your other half, basically. Your the Essene, the Keys of Enoch, it talks about that. We all have a, I don't have a good word for it, an overself, a above body, in the spiritual. Now this is what this verse here is talking about. Now check, it just knocks me out when I post things like this. I just love it so much because I can receive it. It says, Paradar is an angel, bird, or a picture, or as one looking in a mirror sees himself. That which he sees reflected is paradars. Thus when a pure man dies, his soul remains for 3 days near the head of his corporal body, this physical body. It says it remains near the head of his body reciting prayer. See, and I think things like, man, this happened to my relatives. This is what happened to them when they crossed over. It says, thus when a pure man dies, well, it says a pure man here, so I don't know exactly, what, Okay, Dave, overself or astral body. Astral body, I think that's the term I was looking for. Thus, when a pure man dies, his soul remains for 3 days near the head of his corporal body, reciting prayers and anthems. But on the 4th day, look, he wakes to his condition and rises and goes forth. The first living creature he sees is Paradars, a female, a flying person of great beauty. He salutes her, inquiring who she is. She answers him saying, I'm your own soul. I remember one time my brother here in the room, Chuck, he told me that story. I've said it before, but it applies, man. It applies about the hot dog vendor and the guy, he was doing pretty good. And then times got a little tough. He said, man, I better do the tighten up, man. Maybe I need to, raise prices and then he did it and he went broke. And basically the moral of the story is when you're apt to give and to bless other people, you increase. But when you tend to cut back and you tend to, you know what I mean? You tend to start getting self-conscious and you start cutting back, then you decrease. Things kind of dry up, because you're not really trying to serve, and unless because you want to just serve yourself. You consider yourself more than your, and you end up wondering what happened to the times, the good times, the abundance. And I thought, power of positive thinking is part of it. But anyway, I remember that story, Chuck. It says, now here's it says, the person, the pure man, he passes on. He stays by the body 3 days, making prayers and anthems, and then on the 4th day he rises, goes forth. It says the first living creature he sees is a paradar, like a reflection, a flying person of great beauty. He salutes her, inquiring, who is she? She answers him, saying, I'm your own soul and good thoughts. I am the law you have built on the corporal earth. Behold me, I am yourself. And now you see your own self. I am most beautiful because your earth thoughts were beautiful. I am pure because your earth thoughts were pure. But it says, put away yourself. Put away yourself. And come and inhabit myself. I am the part that can ascend to nirvana, the second heaven. You are the part that dwells as a drudge, a bound spirit. On the 5th day, the pure man puts away self, inhabits the paradise, and so ascends and becomes a Lord in heaven. How do you like that, man? How do you like that? Can you receive it? This is a great mystery, man. I just so happen to be able to receive it. He says, here on earth, we are druges because we are bound spirits. Now, there are druges, and I think they're bound. They're saying that we're bound spirits, but I think that there are druges who, we're bound spirits, but not in our understanding, but we're in the womb of the body, So, I think that's the difference between brethren who are faithists and they can be druges in the sense that we're still in the earthbound body. And then there are druges who are spiritually and mentally and physically druges, subscribing to the earth, knows only the earth, cares about the earth, cares about, only their things that affect them. But I just thought, man, this is a beautiful thing right here. It's telling us a big mystery about our situation. Provided that we're trying to it says here have think righteously, do righteously, be the creator, to subscribe to the things that he's trying to tell us, that he's sharing with us, that he's giving to us. It says in this verse, Jehovah spoke through God, saying, a nurse provided for the newborn. But when he is grown, I command him to provide for himself, so that he may be a glory in my kingdoms. By charity alone, you cannot raise man up, but be diligent in teaching him to continually try to raise himself. For in this lies the glory of manhood. For in this lies the glory of manhood. And this verse says, praise the Great Spirit, you followers of Moses, Capelia, and Chine. Sing a new song to the Almighty. His eye has witnessed the toil and sorrow of his chosen. See how we, in this reality, you brethren who are striving, Creator knows that we go through toil and sorrow. Toil and sorrow. That's part of our reality. He says, and all you followers of the chosen of the Almighty, glorify him in the highest. Sing to the Great Spirit forever and ever. And, oh my God, he did it to me again. He did it to me again. He did it. Oh man, it's painful for the brother to keep telling me to change. Oh man, thanks brother. Thanks Dave. Let me go back to the part that I was reading. This is what I was reading about what happens to a brother, a pure man, it says. Just so you can read it. I didn't have the oh man. Come on, Yaquab, you gotta do better, man. Okay, so here's the verse where it talks about the woman, the paradars, and what happens. It says that your thoughts mean your thoughts, man. Your thoughts, the beauty of your thoughts, it manifests in an overself body. Oh, hi, Snap. Hello, sister. Good to see ya. Thank you for joining me. All right. So I was just talking about the paradars. Have you heard of the paradars? Those are your thoughts, your beautiful thoughts that you make up. And the Creator said he gives them to you as your overself body, your thoughts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's saying that you purify yourself, and your thoughts that you have make up your spiritual body. Isn't that something? So if you tend to, if you the type of brother, I'm telling you, man, it don't do no good to deal with people and make them mad. You're the type of guy who's, the fruits of the Spirit, man, they mean more than we could ever. We're making up our over, who wants, now let's be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you late, sis. I might have to give you detention. You know that, right? You might get detention, Ace and that. You Leos are always late for class, man. You know, Leo the teenager. But I can't really say anything because today I was late too. So we might be in detention together. Detention will kill a Leo, man. You know, in the summertime, you in school on a Saturday, and they like to get out in the sunshine and run free. You know, you take a teenager to Leo's freedom, that's equal to capital punishment, man. You can't do that to them people. You know, you can't do that to a fire sign, man. You know, don't keep them from running free, running amok. You know, you got to figure out some other type of punishment for them. Now, earth sign, you can sentence them to detention because, you know, Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns. Now, the Capricorn will work, but, you know, Taurus, Virgo, they'll probably go to sleep, you know. An air sign will daydream, you know. A water sign will curse you out. Anyway, a paradise, your overself, they're made up of your thoughts. Now, let's be honest, man. Do you want an ugly spouse? Do you want now really, be for real, man. And you know good and well people don't want, you know, some people do though, you know. See, that's the beauty of some people, you know. Okay, look, I'm going to be honest, man. You know, I feel like I've dated women that I've said in my own soul, how is it that I'm dating her, man? She is so much better than me. There is no way that she knows what she's doing. Yeah, that's a quirk of the human nature. You know, other people, they probably say stuff, you know, when you vain, you know, there are people who can look at the inside of you and they like something there, they see it. They don't think like, I'm too beautiful. So, well, some people do, but most people, I don't think they do. You know, Libras can be pretty vain when it comes to looks, you know. But on the whole, you want someone who's beautiful to look at aesthetically. But it could be, in the real beauty, it is internally. It really is, man, you know. And that's the beauty, I think, of a like a long marriage, man. A long marriage when, you know, they both lost their physical appeal maybe and to a great degree, but look at them, man. There they go, hand in hand, you know, sitting on the couch, watching Sanford and Son, you know, hand in hand. Man, that's a beautiful thing, man. You know, I really respect married people. They got my approval, respect, man. If you can do it. See, ASAT says, my sister always chose men that were not. I don't mean to laugh, man. I got to stop laughing. I'm going to stop that. She said, my sister always chose men that were not handsome. She said they would take care of her, and she is a Libra. Okay. You know what? That's pretty cool, man. You know, but I wouldn't call them. You know, everybody's beautiful in their own way. Really, that's what it boiled down to. You know. But here it says that the person, because of the fruit of your thoughts, it describes her as beautiful. That don't always have to mean physically. It don't always have to mean physically. You know. So, you gotta love it, man. The Creator's saying your thoughts, really. You could choose your mate, you know. Your thoughts. Like, you know, you like Denzel Washington. You know. You craft your thoughts beautifully. He says you're going to go to your thoughts. Isn't that something? He said you're going to go through your thoughts. Yeah, beauty is spiritual. Yeah. I had to learn that lesson, you know. I believe I've learned that lesson now. I wouldn't really consider Well, a woman's looks is always going to mean something to a man, you know. But less as you grow older. That's the beauty of life right there to me, you know. And plus, you know, people humble themselves. You know, you got to be nicer to people. You know, you can't push people around as you get older. You realize how to have company is real. That's a real blessing, man. To have company is a real, tried and true company. Man, you're on top of the world. Time for the reading. It says, Jehovah spoke through God, saying, a nurse I provided for the newborn, but when he is grown, I command him to provide for himself, so that he may be a glory in my kingdoms. My charity alone you cannot raise up man up, but be diligent in teaching him to continually try to raise himself. For in this lies the glory of manhood. Another verse says, praise the great spirit you followed. So I read this. Another verse, my sister, she posted something from the Torah, I think, Torah learning, so you can see that. This verse says, another one present asked, so this is jumping in the middle of something, but you can still get the idea. Another one present asked, what about these falsifiers and murders? Zarathustra said, the man who serves himself only is worse than any of these. There is no resurrection for him. But a man ceases his evil way to practice virtue. If a man ceases his evil way to practice virtue, he is on the right road. He's on the right road, brother. It says, even as you find the two types of people on earth, so also in heaven these two types exist. One follows the highest light and ever rises towards the highest heaven. This is it right here. Here's the verse that I read something and I said, how am I going to know? How am I going to know what you're talking about here? I mean, anybody can apply to both sides. And then this was the next verse I read, trying to help me to learn who is who. How you can judge yourself. This was the next verse I read. I should have posted the whole thing, but I didn't. And this was the answer I got. This was the next verse I read when I had a question in my mind, and I knew the next thing I was going to read I was going to get the answer, and the Creator did it. He said, even as you find the two types of people on earth, so also in heaven. These two types exist. One follows the highest light and ever rises to the highest heavens. The other follows the affairs of the earth and does not rise, and hence is called a druge. The latter engages in sensualism, okay, and in quarrels among mortals, inspiring them to evil and low desires. So you can examine yourself to see whether you're ascending or whether you're descending. And you come across people, man, they don't seem to have a clue as to how to deal with people. You know, you talk to them, man, they talk down to you. They don't use any good decorum and they don't seem to show any respect towards you. They're real critical, they're harsh, they're acrimonious in their speech. I'm talking about in their speech. You know, these things, they are markers. Don't you know that those things show you the type of person you're dealing with? The kingdom, the Creator, He wants, all the OAHSPE talks a lot about, man, is how you deal with people. Even the way you talk to them, the way you treat them. I'm telling you, that's important. That's you shaping a beautiful woman or beautiful man. See? And I'm surprised that there are people who know a lot and they don't know anything at all about how to deal with your fellow man. You know, it's just like what Brother Cosman said, Daryl Cosman. He said, you're going to get answered in your behavior. And that's also how the Creator is. He's going to look at us. What do other people say about you? When you talk to them, they say, I don't like talking to that dude, man. That guy, he's real harsh. He's critical. He uses a lot of sharpness, towards you. And he's very offensive. He talks down to you. He disrespects you. He calls you out of your name. That's a brother that may know a lot, but it's just like the Apocrypha says. There are those that teach many, and they are unprofitable to themselves. You're unprofitable to yourself. So that means, what good is all your sharing with other brethren when you're no good for yourself? You are no good for yourself, man. You know, the way you talk to brethren, you know, you calling them names, and you know, and all that stuff matter. You're making up your mate, and she's going to be an 8,000-pound woman with layers of skin all over her body, and that's going to be your woman. Because those are the fruit of your thoughts. Then this verse says, let all who can live for the higher light. Let all who can live for the higher light. The Lord will always be supplied sufficiently. And this verse, I didn't post all of it. It talks about, actually the Creator was lifting up celibacy. Did you, brother, know that? You know the OAHSPE Bible talks about celibacy? Do a word study. He's not condemning it. The Creator's not condemning it. He's saying, the earth has got to be populated. Don't worry about that. There are going to be those that populate the earth, but he lifted up celibacy as a way to, it has some type of spiritual benefit. Did you, brother, know that? This verse says there are two types of people on the earth. One is engrossed in the affairs of the earth. Here's the verse right here. And I did post it later, okay? Because I said, well, anybody can be like this. A faithless can be like this. I'm engrossed in the affairs of the earth, And it made me mad reading this. But then I got the understanding. It says there are two types of people on the earth. One is engrossed in the affairs of the earth, other in the affairs of heaven. It is better for you to be of the latter. The fool will say, if all people are engrossed in the affairs of heaven, then who will provide on the earth? Such is the argument of all drunks. It says, do not fear, therefore, for the earth people becoming short of votaries. It says, don't worry about that. There are always going to be people to populate the earth. A votary is somebody who's devoted to something, basically. Oh, here it is. One dedicated to the instance pursuing earthly matters. So that was what I read. And the Creator, I think I might have posted it. It says, okay, I already read it, actually. And basically the Creator said that examining yourself is how you know who you are. Whether you're dedicated to things above or things below. Because I was vexed over two types of people. One I'm engrossed in the affairs of the earth. I mean, I'm not engrossed like I am spiritually to spiritual things. I look at the earth so I can learn a lesson. Time for the reading of the word. Let me see. Asaph says semen retention is spiritual. You know what? I heard something. I know what you're talking about. It's very profound, sis, the things you be saying. Yeah. Semen retention is spiritual. Yeah. Yeah, I know kind of what you're saying there. Because there's energy involved in ejaculation. It's like a loss of some sort of your vitality, if I'm not mistaken. Does that fit with what you're saying, Asaph? I think that's what you're pointing to, and I know that's true. There's a spirituality to semen retention. Yeah, that's very profound, Asaph. Yeah, you're on it. All right, time for the reading of the word. And actually, let me see. The name of the reading is the consequences of lacking love. This is going to be a good read right here. Yeah, it draws from your life force. Yep. That's very, I love talking to that white girl today, man. I loved it. She was a Capricorn. And one thing that is constant with them, I know I'm going to get, even if it's a short conversation, I know that they're going to tell me something that's close to life changing, because they got a take on life that is deep. I mean, it is deep. It is really deep. And she told me something about, she said, I got on the subject talking about, I was talking about women in general, then I mentioned Negro women. And she said, they get a lot of flack because they go through a lot of pain. And I never even, actually we were talking about Capricorn, and she said something like, yeah, Capricorns, they they're charged with instant karma. I don't know if you brothers are going to understand me there, but basically they carry other people's karma. I can't really explain that right now. Basically, is they're in a sense they can be like punching bags for other people, but it doesn't sound right me saying that, and I don't really have time to go into it, but it was so profound. I was really astonished. And Capricorns, they can really teach you some deep lessons. Let me see. Asa says that's why people who are very sexual look older and have many health issues. Really? That's why people. Because let me see. Asa says semen retention is spiritual. Yes, it draws in your life force. That's why people who are very sexual look older. I haven't really noticed that, and have many health issues. That is very serious. I mean, I feel like there's something there too. That is true. We are primordial female source. Yeah. All right. Time of reading of the word story. The video is named the consequences of lacking love. And basically, it's the story of Ahura. I know a lot of you brethren have probably read this, but I'm going to share it, because, and just add some things. I probably ain't going to be able to get through it. I might run a little late trying to get, because it's a hell of a read. May the Heavenly Father bless the reading of His Word. Verse 1, in the 1200th year after Fragapati, in the East Colony of Haredi. Now, Haredi is one of the last heavens before Etheria, from what I understand. We have a situation where there's like levels, realms. There's the realm that's just above the earth, and then there's a realm after that. I think that's like second resurrection maybe, and then the third resurrection, and then Haredi and Horeb, and these are levels, realms, from what I understand. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. It says, in the 1200th year after Fragapati, in the East Colony of Haredi, one Sea-Tusk, he was a lord of Jehovah's hosts. He renounced Jehovah. He quit the team. He renounced Jehovah the Creator and falsely proclaimed himself Ahura, the All-Master. That's the name of the Creator. Ahura Mazda. That's really the name of the Creator. He took it for himself. And he took with him 3 lords of grade 88. Oh, he did it to me again, man. See, Dave, you killing me, brother. Share your tab. Yaquab, share your tab, bro. Share your tab. Yaquab, share your tab. I'm going to have dreams. Share your tab. Share your tab. Share your tab. Share your tab. Watch. You're killing me, brother. He'd be waiting to do that. He'd get a kick out of it. Thank you, brother. Alright, let's do it over. Chapter 10, Divinity. OAHSPE Bible. May the Heavenly Father bless the reading of His Word. It says, in the 1200th year after Fragapati, in the East Colony of Haredi, one Sea-Tusk, his name was Sea-Tusk, a former lord of Jehovah's hosts, he renounced Jehovah the Creator, and he proclaimed himself the Creator, naming himself Ahura, the All-Master. And he took with him 3 lords of grade 88. These were high-raised beings, man. That means more than 3/4 of the time they were serving other people. Look at that, a spiritual grade of 88, as well as 12 sub-gods of grade 64. Those are still high grades, man. And they quit. They ended up leaving Jehovah. And so now, and Ahura brought these with him. 1,600 students of 800 years resurrection, none of whom were less than grade 60, and they were sufficient to pass as brides and bridegrooms. Man, that's too far along, ain't it, to be switching teams? Quitting on Jehovah? He said, and these students took with them 36,000 teachers, factors, physicians, nurses, all of whom were hired in grade 40. Now, they wouldn't have qualified for the second resurrection. Okay, so they were subject, I would think they were subject to being deceived because their grade was 40. None of whom were hired in grade 40. They were below 40. It says, and Ahura appropriated to himself one colony of 110 million angels. Now, he's got a team, a whole bunch of people on his side now. They defected from Jehovah. It says, and Ahura appropriated to himself one colony of 110 million angels together with the colleges, schools, factories, and all the things belonging in them. And the three lords took their kingdoms and by annexation made them part and parcel with Ahura's kingdom. Now these three lords comprise the largest habitable places of mortals in Bennu. Now I forget where Bennu is. Bennu, I think that's India, and Japheth is China, Shem, Africa, if I'm not mistaken. So they take the greatest heavenly places of angels in the first resurrection. They took the greatest heavenly places of angels in the first resurrection. The first resurrection. And Ahura divided up the regions he thus obtained, making confederate heavenly kingdoms. So they're all in agreement in rebellion to Jehovah. Sufficient in number, it says, and Ahura divided up the regions. And Ahura divided up the regions he thus obtained, making confederate heavenly kingdoms sufficient in number to give place of dominion to his lords and gods, and to make sub-gods out of all those 1,600 students. And after that, Ahura counted his people, and there were more than 3 billion souls in his heavens. Okay, thanks, Dave. Bennu is India, and Japheth is China. Thank you. God sent messengers to Cetus, who had assumed the name Ahura Mazda, admonishing and inquiring, my Lord, why, my Lord, whom I have loved. So now other gods are trying to get him to not to rebel against Jehovah. So it says, God sent messengers to Cetus, who had assumed the name Ahura Mazda, admonishing and inquiring, my Lord, whom I have loved, whom by my own hands was crowned in the name of Jehovah, why have ye deserted the Father's kingdoms? And what way have ye had cause to complain against Jehovah, or against me, your God? O my son, my Lord, do not say you have gone so far you cannot return. What can you ask of me that I will not grant you? No, even judge me. And if you desire all the heavens and the earth in my place, I will abdicate to you. And you become your lowest servant, or whatever you will put upon me. So here the God who used to be over Cetus or Ahura is trying to plead with him, man, come, what are you doing, man? Why would you rebel against Jehovah? Here, look here, man, take my kingdoms and I'll become your lowest servant. I'll serve you if that's what you want. But it says Ahura returned his answer, because I have nothing against you. I have alienated myself and my kingdom from you. I do not desire your kingdom, nor even my own. Behold, I looked upon you, and you were pure and holy. All right, Daryl. Oh, good to see you, brother. Glad you could check in, man. I know you know this story, but I hope I can bless you anyway with it. Good to see you, brother. Behold, I looked upon you, and you were pure and holy. So it sounds like he's jealous of the gods who remain true to Jehovah. It sounds like he's jealous of them. Behold, I looked upon you, and you were pure and holy. I looked upon the kingdoms of heaven and the kingdoms of earth, and they were impure and holy, impure and unholy. So it sounds like he's jealous. He's looking at them like, man, you guys are way better than me. I don't even belong there, really. In the end, you're going to end up loving Ahura, though. If I can get through the end of it, you're going to end up loving him, man. It says, then came certain brother lords to me, most wise lords, and he said, a less pure God, a less holy God would be more efficient. So I was persuaded to my course. So he's making an argument that, hey man, if you were less perfect, you would resonate more with mortals. You'd have more of an impact because they can identify with you and your imperfections. And so it says, God replied to this, saying, behold, we have a diva. Now, a diva is like a parliament, a heavenly council. A diva is the prime minister. A diva is like a heavenly parliament. It says, the God says, replied to this, saying, behold, we have a diva. Why did you not speak to us before me, face to face? And your three great lords were also divas. And they likewise were silent on the matter. The prime minister would have decreed whatever was all wise. Because I was in darkness, I did not see your thoughts, nor those of your lords, and you have heaped shame upon me. How shall I send my record to Etheria? Meaning, this God said he evidently was, I guess his reputation was now suffering tarnish because of the actions of Ahura Mazda, the God who defected. And I think it somehow reflects on this God here. He says, how shall I send my record to Etheria? I would have to say a higher realm. Or actually, it could be talking about Ahura. How shall he send his records to Etheria, since he defected? Shall I say, behold, certain lords consulted clandestinely and then concluded to overthrow the Creator? And in fact, they have gone and set up a kingdom of their own, calling it the All-Highest. Hear me yet, and I will endeavor to speak wisely to you. Some days ago, your messengers notified me that you had repudiated Jehovah, saying, there is no all-highest person. I can make myself as high as the highest. Then your messenger gave me a map, saying, behold, here are the boundaries of the kingdom of Ahura Mazda, the all-sufficient high God. And I looked over the map and saw its great extent, and I surmised to myself, he is a great God who can rule over all that. For I knew you and your education, which is as great as any lords in Atmospheria, the lower heavens. But you cannot control even a plateau. Can you raise your hand and stop the AG or the Gia or the nebulae? That's why me and Dave were talking about that earlier. These are atmospheres that try men, that test men, that the Creator sends on man to cause man to elevate. You could say these are conditions on earth, if I'm not mistaken, like Asenath was saying. I think Asenath was saying. And so the true God is trying to tell Ahura, look, man, why are you saying these things? You can't even do this, or you can't even do that. You cannot. Can you raise your hand to stop the AG, the Gia, or the nebulae? You can barely change a single current of wind, nor can you cast a drought on any land. And yet there are gods who can do these things by a motion of one finger. How then do you dare proclaim you are all-sufficient high God? But I will not rebuke you, for I desire your love and your help. I will win you by any sacrifice I can make. Behold, there is a great darkness in heaven and on earth. Whenever I may be short in, I will rebuke myself in after ages. So this God, man, he's pleading, man. Man, don't look, man, don't turn on don't defect. Don't defect, man. And if I'm at fault, man, let me make it right. But Ahura won't listen. He just won't listen. He says, the God who's trying to get him to turn back, to come back, he says, I pray then, return to me. Make exactions upon me and my kingdoms with your laws. Behold, Diva, which is Parliament, is broken up because he defected. He said, with your dismemberment of heavens, others will follow. Alas, I will not look upon even that which my soul sees. I plead for your love and assistance. Nevertheless, if the all-highest light for the best good shows you that you are right, do not come to me. I know the Great Spirit will sustain me, even though my soul is very nigh crushed to pieces by the loss of so fair a love. To this Ahura replied, now this is who defected. He said, to this Ahura replied, if it were not the wisest best course to do as I did, how did the thought come to me? So he's putting it back on the Creator. Why did I have the thought to defect? Who gave it to me? It must mean it was the best thing for me to do. So now you're going to blame the Creator. And so the God replied, because of the long reign of Gia, the time of darkness, it says you were inoculated with darkness, even as a mortal on a rainy day loses patience to be wise. Then Ahura sent the following message: I have been patient in my answers, but now I will speak plainly. First of all, you are all pure and most wise above all other gods. For more than 200 years I've been a faithful Lord to you and your king. See, now the acrimony, now the spite, the anger, the jealousy now is coming out now. He says, first of all, you are all pure and most wise above all other gods. For more than 200 years I've been a faithful Lord to you and your kingdoms. At first a great light came to you, and a voice came out of the light. Then I was afraid and awestruck, because I believed you were so near the Creator. Every word of your act were worshipful to me. Verse 13. At last I rebuked myself, saying to myself, fool, giving worship to a man born of a woman. Remember your Creator only. Verse 14. But the times changed. Gia fell upon heaven and earth, the times of trial, temptations to unbelief. It says, but the times changed. Gia fell upon heaven and earth. Our glorious kingdoms were cast down by the great darkness. Then I reasoned within myself, saying, behold, when we were in light, Jehovah's voice spoke to us. Hey, Fritz. Thank you for joining me, brother. Good to see you. When the darkness came, the voice no longer came. We sat in the diva in the altar circle, praying for light from the Father, but it did not come. And I said, we need the voice in darkness even more than in light. For 100 years we did not see the light of the voice, nor hear the voice speak. You have said you heard in your soul. Who is there in heaven and earth that cannot say as much? In my soul I no longer believe there is an all person. There are great gods, 1,000 times greater than I, but that is all. Yes, some of those great gods may have cast a Gia upon us, but that is not my concern. There is room for you and your people. Here is room for me and my people. So he's going way down. I mean, he just, man, this is like what happens when you go into a spiritual descent. You blame other people. You get selfish, man. You get tired of, you want what's yours. I'm tired of waiting, man. Look, I've been serving you all these years. I ain't got nowhere. Look, man, I got to get my own, I ain't getting nowhere with you. I'm sorry, man. I gotta bail. This ain't working for me. And then Jehovah, now the Creator is now he getting involved now. Jehovah is now talking now. It says Jehovah spoke to God, saying, "Do not answer her anymore. Behold, I will interpret him to you. I'm going to tell you what's in his heart." He became Nino Brown on New York, New Jack City in the courtroom. I didn't see. I get the flavor of what you're saying there. It must have been some rebellion going on, So I saw a little bit of that movie. So now Jehovah, now he's stepping in now. So now you know you got problems now. Now you know that you done messed up, man. Now here comes Jehovah. He says, Jehovah spoke to God, saying, do not answer her anymore. Behold, I will interpret him to you. I'm going to tell you how to deal with him. He says, peace, or he says, he will eventually persuade angels and mortals that it was he who inspired Zarathustra, but he himself does not foresee this. Permit him therefore to go his own way, nor should you take sorrow to your soul because of it. Have I not given to all men from the lowest to the highest even that which they desire? Behold, I can use even bad men in the far future. Jehovah said, for a long season Ahura will strive to walk upright, but because he has cut me off, he will also cut himself off in time to come. Behold, a moral man strives for riches honorably, and when he is rich, his riches cut him off from me by the ruin he cast upon his competitors. And man, that's America, people. It's dog eat dog, cutthroats, backstabbings. A rich man honorably. A rich man, he strives for riches honorably, meaning people respect him for his riches. But when he's rich, he cuts off from me by the ruin he cast upon his competitors. That's what matters to the Creator. It matters the people who you leave in your wake, how they feel about you. Hey, Daryl, I was talking about what you said earlier when you came in at another time. That was a powerful lesson about how the Creator, he'll answer you in your behavior. I'm going to never forget that. That was a good lesson, brother. He will answer you in your behavior if you're still in the room. I think you checked out, but I want to let you know how much I appreciated that. The Creator, he's going to answer you in how you treat others. How you treat others. It says, nor can he extricate himself, nor will Ahura be able to extricate himself. Even so will it be with Ahura. His kingdom and his subkingdoms and his multitude of officers will cause him to enslave hundreds of millions of Druids, and they will draw him into a vortex from which he cannot escape. So God answered Ahura no more, but nevertheless his heart was full of sorrow. Now when the time of the meeting of the Diva, this is the heavenly parliament, came, God foresaw that not more than one half of them would be present, and he feared the question might come up. So Ahura the false, he left, and a lot of people left the parliament with him. The Diva, they left with him. In verse 19 it says, but Jehovah said to him, do not fear, my son, for even though many more leave you, yet you shall preserve the Diva, the end of his cycle. So it came to pass that Jehovah stilled the tongues of all the gods and lords of the Diva in reference to Ahura. So he put it in their heart not to even inquire about it, about the defection that happened. And okay, thanks, Daryl. Yeah, I want to let you know I really appreciate that word that you taught us a few weeks back. It says the Diva in reference to Ahura, even as they didn't even question about what happened. Where's Ahura at? And we have in our session or parliament, where are all the others at? There was so many more people. Where did they go? And the Creator said, I'm going to not even make them ask about what happened. It says, even as if they had never known him, and Ahura sent quizzers to different gods and lords afterward to learn what action the Diva had taken in his case, his defection. But when he was told that he had not been mentioned, he became angry and swore an oath that he would build the largest of all heavenly kingdoms. So now his pride is taken over. Now you dead. Now you are dead, man. Now you got pride. You are going to start serving you. And so down we go. Now it's down we go. And so it says, because of the great darkness on heaven and earth, God sent hope and promise into all the kingdoms, urging his lords and the sub-gods to maintain faith, not only within themselves, but also in the hearts of their respective inhabitants. Now from the time of the secession of Ahura to the next Dan is a high time of enlightenment, would be 300 years. So there wouldn't be a lifting of this darkness for another 300 years. That was caused, which among other things caused Ahura to defect. That wouldn't be lifted till 300 years later. And God knew this. Through the multitudes in heaven and earth did not. So it says, and God commanded great recreations and extensive labors God commanded great recreations and extensive labors in order to prevent further dismemberment. It's going to now occupy the people with distractions to keep them from bucking up and rebelling like Ahura did. It says, but in the course of 100 years, many were carried away by the extravagant stories told by Ahura's kingdoms being places of great delight and ease and idleness. So now the promise of luxury and self-dealing and nothing but free liquor and drinking every day in Ahura's kingdom. Everybody go over there, Ahura's Lord said to him, you shall adorn your kingdom, your throne, and your capital, Cetus, shall be the largest, most ornamental of all places, in the universe, and your sub-kingdoms shall be places of great delight. And Ahura was persuaded, and so began his self-glorification. There it is. Self-glorification, man. That's the number one killer, man. There it is, self-glorification. I was listening to Brother Maccabee the other day, and he talked about self-gods, man. And they're not, OAHSPE gods are not worshipped. They will not permit it. Biblical gods are worshipped. See? That's one thing that let us know, hey man, the Bible, be careful. Biblical gods want to be worshipped. I also met a Jew on the way to my store, wearing a small beanie on his head. And if I was a Hebrew Israelite, I would have cussed him out left and right from Monday to Sunday. And then the next 6 months afterwards, I would have followed him to his home. I would have came in his home and cussed him out. I would have cussed him out in the daytime, cussed him out in the nighttime. I would have tried to hire a hitman, That's the spirit I was under with the Hebrew Israelites. But the OAHSPE gave me power to look at people. I look at people differently now. And I talked to him and I asked him about what's going on over in Israel. I said, so how do you feel about what's going on over there? He said that we have to stop terrorism. And I said, why are they fighting over there? He said, because they are terrorists. I said, do you think it has anything to do with people having their property stolen? Told to move, do you think that has anything to do with settler colonialism and how you can walk up to a Palestinian's house and tell them to get out? Don't you think that has something to do with why they're rising up like that? You guys been doing it for 70 years. Don't you think that has something to do with it? He said, no, that doesn't matter. I said, you're kidding, right? You mean, where's your house? And obviously, he was right outside his house. And I said, I'm going to be moving in the night. I need you out in, like they do over in Israel, in the West Bank. I need you to move out in 1 hour. I need everything cleared out because I'm moving in there. Would you do it? You know what I mean? And he wouldn't listen to any good reason. That's the type of spirit he was under. That's the type of spirit those people are under. He said, nope, it's all the terrorists' fault. We didn't do anything wrong. We're defending ourselves. We have a right to defend ourselves. And so I said, do they have a right? Is it, and he wouldn't hear it. Do you know that guy, that Jew, he wouldn't hear it. I said, are you a Jew or an Israelite? And he didn't know the difference. I said, are you the people of the Old Testament? And he said, yeah. And I knew he was wrong then. So, but I didn't get angry. I did not get angry. That was because of Jehovah right there. But I felt sorry for him though. But they glorify themselves. They think they are more, they think they are better than you. You brethren in this room too. They look down on you. They say, we are the chosen. You know what I mean. And Ahura was persuaded, and so began his self-glorification, and his lords with him. And in another 100 years, Ahura had withdrawn and annexed to him the following provinces in heaven, along with their sub-gods. Etiasib with 70 million souls. Hawak with 100 million. So he's cleaning up now. Look at the defection that's going on here. 20 million, 80 million, 100. These are in different provinces. All these people defected to Ahura. Look at all this defection going on. 20 million, 80 million, 190 million. The whole kingdom of Gerakshi, 600 million. The whole kingdom of Sufwa, 800 million. And all these confederated in the lower heavens, making this kingdom of Cetus the central kingdom, with Ahura as Mazdi in chief. So you look at the situation in the world today, and Dave, correct me, or Daryl or Asaph, correct me if I'm wrong, but his sub-gods, they are, wouldn't that be Baal and Ashtoreth, I think, that are still running things today, taking people in bondage and captivity? Catholicism, Christianity, Mohammedanism, Hinduism, Buddhism. Aren't they running the show? Aren't they still taking people captives? The only ones escaping are faithists. You talking about, ain't they still running a Boston? Those false gods. Be it Baal and Ashtaroth, are they the ones still running a Boston for Ahura's kingdom today? Correct me if I'm wrong. Look at all those people they taking captive. You see? All those people, man. It says, this reduced the diva, the parliamentary in heaven, to 7 members. Okay, thanks, Dave. Baal and Ashtaroth's successors. We read about it. They still doing damage today, brethren. Daryl says these faiths are but the gods themselves have fallen. Yeah, but they still, the after effects is still here. You see, ain't they? I know that the Creator is decreasing their numbers, because he said in OAHSPE he was going to decrease the numbers of the drugs. World War may be one of those ways he's talking about. Now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. Look like it to me. We're outnumbered. You faithists, you brethren, you outnumbered, man. You know? I digress, though. It says this reduced the diva. Remember diva? The parliamentary heavenly council. Look at this. This reduced the diva to 7 members. But these remained faithful, and God kept up the standard of resurrection for 100 years more. See, Daryl says, that's what I mean, the belief system. Oh, okay, thanks, Daryl. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Catholicism is on the rise. Man, that video that Dave shared, that blew my mind, man. About the Catholics. You mean it's time for I started late. I was going to say, man, it's time for the ending of the reading. I'm going to go a little further, make up for the time I was late on the video today. Yeah, Asaph, Dave, he put out a video, and he called it "The Truth Is Getting Out." Man, it was an expose on the Catholic. You brethren already know. You know what I mean? It was an expose on the Catholic Church. Do you know that vault they got? You know when the world is hiding something from you, it's because it's telling the truth. You brethren know that, right? You already know that. And they got criteria in order to go down and see them vault. You got to be 75 years old. You got to be highly accredited to go down. And you can only look at 3 sources of information. And they got thousands of books down there written in antiquity. And you know what it's going to do, right? It's going to glorify the Creator. It's going to glorify the Creator. That's why I believe the OAHSPE, brother, that's just the beginning, man. You know? And then when the time comes for the explosion of this kingdom, Those vaults are going to be released. They're going to be, and the truth is going to bum rush the world. Now, I could be wrong. Oh, Candace Owens? Yeah, she leaves a bad taste in my mouth because she really, she was really hard on her own people, man. I mean, I think that she did things for the money. She's a Taurus, so that's a money sign. Money has an abnormal effect on them. And some of the things she did, maybe she regrets now a lot of things she said. Even if it's true, there are some things, man, that don't always need to be. What is the name of the song? Some things are better left unsaid, man. Just leave it alone or turn it loose. Turn it loose. And she said a lot of hurtful things that it didn't really need to be said. Now, I think from what I understand, she's trying to come back. Now, and she went straight into Catholic. You beat me to it. You beat me to it, Asenair. You beat me to it. I saw a picture. Everybody turned on her because she had that. She was starting to come out against Israel and the killing of women, children. So she started coming out against that. They fired her from her job. And so now she started coming back to the black community. And they wouldn't have her. They said, no, the thing she said is too late. It is too late. You showed your true colors. You showed your true colors. And so she ran to the Catholics. She was hanging out with, what's his name? Kanye West. And now her own people started coming. They was condemning her. She went and ran to the Catholics. You see how it is? I mean, you go from the frying pan to the fire. You run right to the place. I think that there's going to be a great harvest for the church coming with the things that I believe the Creator is going to allow on the earth. That's going to make people going to make them run to the false gods. Going to make them run the exact place they should not go. And Elijah says, and the gods of these religions are all about, perfect. And the gods of these religions are all about fear and lower knowledge. You can see it in being projected from the followers in the physical as well as from the spiritual. Captivity. That's why the Bible says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Now the Hebrew Israelites say that's talking about the white man having led the Negro into captivity, but the spiritual interpretation is really the false gods. They lead into captivity. They're going to go into captivity. I don't know what you mean, Ace. Now, no, she is whatever that is. What is that? A plant? Oh, a plant. Are you saying? Oh, she's an informant. Oh. They said that P. Diddy is one, some dude, some high up gangster. He said that Diddy is a plant too. I don't doubt that they got I don't doubt it, man. Don't nothing surprise me anymore. You can get people to do anything for money. You can get people. That's why I'm really thankful. You brethren should be thankful too. And you can't really look down on people. None of us can really look down on people, man. Because if you was in that situation, you would probably, I don't want to say, that you would. But only me speaking for myself. If you put the world at my feet, I don't think that I can handle it. I don't think I can reject it. So I be careful looking at people. What if they get the opportunity for endless money? Don't say that you wouldn't do what they're doing. Just praise Jehovah, man, that He not putting you in that situation. You know, I don't look down on people like that anymore, man. You know, like the Israelites taught me. I don't do that no more. Thanks to Jehovah, because if I examine myself, I got enough problems, and I don't even hardly get tested. I don't, you know, even the little bit that's on my plate, I'm struggling with. Verse 23, this reduced the diva to 7 members, but these remained faithful. And God kept up the standard of resurrection for 100 years more. And then Jehovah sent a region of Dan to heaven and earth, and the Most High Heavenly Host descended in fire ships and took God and His harvest up to Jehovah. And with all the misfortune that befell God and His lords, there were nevertheless 6 billion brides and bridegrooms to Jehovah raised up to the higher heavens. And Asenath says, in the Bible, people were never going into captivity. It's always talking about the false gods. Jehovah knew that these gods were always using people as their avatar. That's a good point. That's a good point. I like that. Now, I would say to that, people do go into captivity after they cross over. It says in the Bible, people were never going into captivity. She said in the Bible, people were never going into captivity. It's always talking about the false gods. Jehovah knew these gods were always using people as their avatars. But see, there was free will though, Asenath. Free will. So that tells me that, and when I read the OAHSPE, it says that people who make decision for religion, they go to their God. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that what the OAHSPE say? Whoever people choose, that's who they go to. Is that not? Am I right? Or you says those are ones that knew exactly what they were doing. It's in the Nag Hammadi too. Avatars for the archons. Well, avatars. All I know is that people, they make decisions and they go to false gods in the atmosphere, first resurrection. Or if that's, if I'm overstanding correctly, they go into captivity, So, I don't know if I completely understand what you're saying. Mortals going into captivity. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but oh, okay. I don't know if I completely understand what you're saying, but I know you'll enlighten me, so let me go on. Verse 24. Now, when the Ethereal host came for the resurrection, knowing that darkness was upon the lower heaven and the earth, they sent Odivans. Odivans, I think, is some sort of transportation vehicles with heralds and trumpeters around the earth proclaiming the resurrection in hand, asking all who chose to go Moru and Haredi. That's a high raised heaven, I believe. Moru, if it's in Haredi. Haredi is like one of the last lower heavens before Etheria. It says, and the word was whispered throughout Ahura's kingdom. What then? It was whispered in Ahura's kingdom. What? Then in truth, there must be higher heavens than this. So the truth is getting out. It says it was whispered throughout Ahura's kingdom. Jehovah is telling people, hey, you want to leave this kingdom and go somewhere higher? I'm paraphrasing. It says, alas, had we been faithful till now, we would have been brides and bridegrooms. So people see they've been deceived. It says, so strong was the disaffect. Now they pissed off at Ahura, now, the false god, because now it's like the truth, the Catholic vaults have been opened up, see? And now they say, hey, those faithists, Amen. They was telling us that they gone now. They way up there. I'm still up. Amen. You deceived me. Asaph says the Bible's not about people. There is man and there is mankind, a kind of man. The Bible is about them, not us. Okay. I don't know if I still don't know if I understand what you're saying, but let me keep going. Maybe if you want, after I get finished with the reading here, I'm gonna go for about 4 more minutes. I'm not gonna finish the story of Ahura. If you want, you can come on. Let's talk about it. Okay. So now they pissed off at Ahura. Now, see, Jehovah, he sent some of the Etherian realm, and it says they whispered throughout Ahura's kingdom. Hey. There's a kingdom higher than this. You want to go there? You want to go there? Hey, tell your family. Hey, y'all want to go here? And then Ahura's kingdom found out. They said, what? Who's been doing this? Then in truth, and so his subjects are now saying, then in truth, there must be higher heavens than this. Alas, had we been faithful till now, we would have been brides and bridegrooms. And so strong was this disaffection for Ahura that 5 of his lords broke membership and reaffiliated with God and his kingdoms, and thus matters stood when God's successor came to the throne. And the next dam was 500 years. The next time of enlightenment was going to be 500 years later. And God and his heavenly kingdoms prospered under Jehovah. But as the Lord's kingdoms on earth, the mortal kingdoms and the empires, not much light was manifested in them. For Ahura, who had falsely taken and was known by the name Ahura Mazda, established lords to rule over mortals, and these lords were in direct opposition to God's lords. For the latter taught the higher heavens and the all-person Jehovah or Mazda according to the language of mortals. But Ahura's lords taught only one heavenly kingdom, which was Ahura's, called Cetus, the all-holy highest heaven. God's lords inspired mortals to everlasting resurrection. Ahura's lords inspired mortals to Ahura's kingdom, and there the end. And since mortals had built temples for their priests and rabbis, who were gifted with suas, the spirits congregated in the temples and often appeared in Sarjas, teaching only their different doctrines. And the Ashars labored for Ahura, extolled the glory and delight of Cetus and the wonderful majesty and power of Ahura, the false god. But the Ashars of God's host inspired and taught of the Great Spirit unapproachable. For 500 years, God's hosts were confronted with this opposition. And it came to pass that mortals, especially in Venu, which is India, were divided into 2 great classes of worshippers. And just before God's successors came into dominion, he propounded the matter in Deva, which is the heavenly parliament, upon which all the members spoke at great length. Afterward, Div, the prime minister, decreed, whatever is worshipped having comprehensible form or figure is an idol. He who worships an idol, whether of stone or wood, whether it is man or an angel, sins against the Creator. This was given to all God's lords, and by them to the Ashars, and commanded to be taught to mortals by inspiration and others. So now, the heavenly parliament is saying, in order to bring down Ahura's kingdom, the word gets out, it's given to God's lords and Ashars to give to mortals and tell them, hey, if you worship God, if you worship anything with form or figure, that is an idol. It is an idol. And now, even to this day, we're getting that word that we know now what an idol is. And an idol is religion, because their founders are people with form and figure. It says, when the time of Dan came, there were 7 billion brides and bridegrooms raised up to Jehovah's emancipated worlds, and the succeeding gods and lords came into dominion under more favorable auspices, meaning good conditions, favorable signs. It says the Deva had extended to 14 members, and God's lords had succeeded in securing kingdoms in the principal parts of Japheth, which is China, Venu, and Arabia, Middle East. Venu, India, Arabia, Middle East. On the other hand, the emissaries of Ahura the false had been most active in extending the kingdom of their idol. Ahura was most cunning with the last Devan act. Instead of interdicting it, He altered it. So he's the heavenly decree. He's going to alter it. He says, so it read as follows: whatever is worshipped, having incomprehensible form or figure, is an idol. So it's like he's saying, yeah, I agree with what they decreed in the heavenly, but I'm going to explain it more. So he says, he who worships an idol, whether it is made of stone or wood, or whether it is a man or an angel, sins against the All-Highest, who is personated in Ahura, the holy begotten Son of all created nations. So he's saying, yeah, they were right what they decreed, what the righteous God says, that if you worship anything of it which has form and figure, if you worship anything, that's an idol. But if you worship me, that is not idolatry. See, changing the heavenly decree. Men are the same way. They're devious, man. They're cunning. They play with words. See, that's what the law is all about. The fix is in. And next, Ahura decided to found a second heaven. See, now he's going to make his own reality with its condition, decreeing to his emissaries as follows: behold, Garakshi, the heavenly region above the lands of Helesti. So he's saying, instead of the real places, check out my crib. Here's the heaven. There's the heaven, the only heaven. It says, there I will build a new heaven, greater than all the other heavens except Cetus. When Garakshi is well founded, I will people it with many millions of mighty angels, gods, and lords, and my host shall descend to the corporal. Time for the ending of the reading of the word. Let me see how much further I have to go to the next chapter. Okay, it's a little much. I have to pick it up again in the next video. So the ending, you're going to end up loving Ahura. I'm going to end the video right there. Time for the ending of the reading of the word. So I'm going to go to my room and see if anyone wants to discuss or have a question or comment. Basically, I'm going to ruin the ending. Basically, you're going to end up loving Ahura. Even though he's really going off now, man. I mean, he's being taken over by spirits, the worship, the self-glorification. I mean, he's real. I mean, he's just going into descent, man. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Now this is the story of mankind. He gets prideful. He gets, worship is sweet, man. It becomes sweet to you. You forget your first love, Creator. You get tired of serving Him, man. You want the glory. And where's the money at, man? My contract is up. That's the humans, we can't wait, man. Hey, you got all the glory. I want some of that, And he gets humble, man. He gets humble. Whenever you worship yourself, then you're going to go to yourself and you ain't going to like it. At some point, you ain't going to like it. You're going to get tired of yourself. And the Creator, He's just going to wait you out. At some point, you're going to come to Him. You're going to come, man. Even if you own the whole world, at some point, you're going to come to the Creator. Because He has all knowledge. He's got it all, man. I love it. I love it. I love this story. I love it, man. Anybody want to come in? The link is up above. Let me post it again. Post the link. Anybody, if you want to make a comment or teach us a lesson, post the link so we can. I'm going to go on for a little bit, probably about a couple minutes, and see if anybody wants to come on. So, to summarize, the Creator, it's like, it's just, when we, what can I say, man? At some point a couple of things. The drudges, the drunks, I read where the Creator is going to decrease them. They're going to be decreased because the faithless must rise. They must rise, man. This word here may not seem like it now because we're so few in number. We're really the progenitors. You brethren are really progenitors. And so, we've been charged with spreading the light, spreading the word, spreading this word. But that lesson of Ahura, and Ahura, he ended up making it back. And they showed him what he had to do. So, if any brother wants to, yeah, praise Jehovah Day. Yeah, I love that word, man. I love that word. How did y'all like that verse that I was sharing earlier about your thoughts is your over self body? Your thoughts. Your thoughts is your over self body. The things you think, that's who your woman is or your man. You're going to go, if your thoughts are beautiful, you're going to a beautiful cohort in the spiritual. That's your cohort. If you got an ugly mind, you have ugly thoughts, you're going to go, you're going to go to an ugly man or woman because your thoughts are ugly. Yeah, we shared that earlier in the video. Isn't that something? The spirituality is something else, man. You know that? It is really something else. Yeah. And then I talked to that Jew today. That was quite an experience, man. That was quite an experience. He didn't see nothing wrong, man, with taking what Israel. I'm telling you, brethren, man. We better, man. Don't you know that situation over there, you brethren, we gonna get affected. Because it's an explosion ready to happen over there. The United States, they built a pier over there. Y'all heard about that pier? You probably haven't heard, because I know a lot of y'all don't follow world events, and I envy you for that. I follow them, so I can see, to me, it helps me look at the Creator by the actions of men, and that strengthens me. It strengthens my faith. When you see the word, the light, it confirms the things that are going on in the world. And they built a pier over there, saying that it was for food and aid. This happened just yesterday or 2 days ago. And don't you know that Israel, it was, you brethren have heard of the story of the Trojan horse, right? It was classic Trojan horse. The food came in and what looked like aid trucks. They used those aid trucks to raid an encampment where they found out that some of the captives that the Palestinians, the Hamas, the group, the resistance over there, and they rescued 4 of the captives. They killed 274 people in rescuing the 4 hostages. They killed 274. See? And when I was talking to that Jew today, I had no animosity towards him. It was amazing. Whereas before, I had some real, I was astonished at him. I was truly astonished. I was truly astonished, man. If I was an Israelite, I would have smashed him. With all my heart, I would have smashed him with my words. And he said he don't see nothing wrong. I'm telling you, this is the world you brethren live in. He don't see nothing wrong with people getting removed from their home. They can. Do you know, if you was a Jew, an Israeli Jew, don't you know you could go right now, you could apply for membership, you would get it, and you could say, I want to go to the West Bank so I can get a house. You go to the West Bank, don't you know you can go right up to a Palestinian and say, hey, I like your house, you're going to have to move out. That's what they do. They actually do that, and the United States backed them. See where you live? That's where we live. And the Creator say that He's a God. The Creator says He is a God of justice. See? He said He allowed the self-gods He allowed them to prosper for a while. See? He said he allowed them to prosper. See? Ahura, he got self-glorified. He got affected. He got infected. And he became more wicked. And look at all them people. Remember we read 70 million, 1 billion, hundreds of millions. All those people, man. And it's the same way in the world. Man, may the Creator help us. May He help us, man. May He please help us. All right, that's the best I can do. Nobody wants to come in? All right, that's cool. Maybe next time. Thanks for joining me. I want to give thanks to Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this incredible opportunity. Danny, if you look at the video, it was a pleasure meeting you today. It was the highlight of my day. I hope that you have a little more understanding on what it's all about. I hope that you contact me if you see the video. And brethren, again, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. And I want to give thanks to the Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. And brethren, bless you. Peace, love, and light to you. And until I see you on video again, shalom.